in the back, but we think that one's got some very, very unique and very, very extreme pieces. One that's got height to shoulder, one that's very stout in terms of his hind leg, and then looks like one that's certainly going to be able to feed out of a very good litter there at our place there in lot 2. So that'll be lot 1 and lot 2 from Trace.
All right, our next pin in is going to be the more of the Trace lots. This would be lots 3, 4, and 5. We're going to start off here with the lot 3 that's out there. It'd be the off-belted hog. He would be a next play, nothing to hide, which next play there's at Canals, and got to see quite a few of those pigs, and that'll be the first gilt there of the Trace offering. But I think one that sticks out awfully well, regardless. Lot 4 is going to be the pig over there riding by himself. Lot 4 is the tricked out never before. I know that never before line's been awfully good. A 35-liter sow there for the Trace guys, and I know that's need no introduction for their program. And then the lot 5 would be a tricked out, nothing compares, the barrow right here in the middle.
Yeah, lot 3 is going to be our gilt. Hello. Camera. Lot 3 is going to be our gilt, one of the 2 gilts that we brought, and we think one that's honestly pretty special, one we held back just for smokes in lot 3. And again, next play, that's a boar there at Canals. We only had 2 litters of those pigs, but 2 of probably the deeper litters that we had. We sold quite a few of those male pigs out of the other litter. We thought this was our gilt to bring here that can not only compete early, we think, in the jackpot scene, but come March, we think that one could be awful special just in terms of stoutness of feature and look, and still, very good in terms of base width underneath, squareness of skeleton there in that lot 3. Our lot 4, that mother of that one goes back to one of those 35 sows that we have 3 of those there at our house. Those have raised any of our better winners that we've had here in the last 2-3 years would go back to one of those 35 sows. So again, tricked out, and then 35-10. Her most recent win would have been Addie Thompson's gilt there at OYE last year. That was 5th, 6th out at Colson and Evan Greenby for like 28,000 there. So again, we've been very high on that pig in that lot 4. That should be the 37 litter. And then we wrap up here with lot 5, which would be another tricked out pig on nothing compares south. So.
All right, this will be the final pin from Trace here. These would be lots 6, 7, and 8. We've got a gilt and 2 males back there. So not to and do no introduction to Trace. Obviously, these guys, Justin won't pat his own back, but they are the breeder of the Grand at Tulsa there the other night. So obviously have some pigs that feed extremely well, but I think the group of pigs they brought are exceptionally good. not because this guy's sitting across from me, but hogs that have fed extremely well. Lots 6, 7, and 8 are in here now. Brantley, or 6 is, yeah, he's on 6 right here. This is a no-huddle Godfather, and I know it goes back to that never-before 35-liter sow there on the grandmother side, but that bear there. The gilt is going to be lot 7, and that would be a no-huddle, never-before. And then lot 8, the bear there that Brantley just grabbed, is a no-huddle, expensive taste, never-before.
Yeah, to start lot 6, that's a 20-liter pig. This is a pig, honestly, whether you're here online, this pig's pretty green, but he's got some very, very unique pieces, we think. He looks like a show pig here for 2022 and into 2023. Just height to shoulder, very unique in terms of his head carriage. That one should continue to mass up just in terms of density of skeleton, should mass up based on the pedigree, just in terms of shape and spread. But if you want one that's going to be very, very good proportioned, one that's going to be very, very good looking, both short term and long term, I like a lot of things, and we like a lot of things about that lot 6. Lot 7's at the other gilt we have there. That'd be a no huddle. Never before. Again, I'm not going to tell you she's the most bloomy one, but if you can read into that one and project that one long term, similar situation. Those no huddle pigs for us are pigs that as a group, we had 10, 12 of those litters. They look like they're pigs that are going to feed. And squareness of skeleton's good. Those early litters we had, we've kept gilts out of them. They've gotten stouter and stouter featured as they went on and progressed up in weight and maturity, and I think that gilt definitely can do that. And then you have lot 8, which would be another no huddle 24-liter pig. Again, similar situation. Should continue to get better with more days on feed. So that'd be lots 6, 7, and 8 for Trace.
All right, next one in is Kilmer Swine Farm, LLC. We're going to start off here. This is their first of 2 pens they're going to drive in. Lots 9 and 10 are going to be in here right now. Lot 9 is going to be the bigger belted barrow right here that Brantley's on. Would be a tricked out, rumor has it. That mother is the same mother as the reserve grand bear at Angelo last year that Salmon showed. And then the lot 10 is going to be the gilt that is tricked out, rumor has it. Be a first litter sow there, but grandmother produced a pair of bears there a few years ago that were never befores that I think both got a piece at San Antone in different dark and hamp divisions.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I think, brings us, we'll see another pair here in a minute, but I think he brings 4 pigs that are very good, and, you know, those pigs have fed extremely well. If Jimmy brings them out in public, he's had a lot of success going through with pigs in this sale that have fed extremely well. I like this lot 9 a lot. One that's looks like a show bear to me, but you study jaw, forearm, hind leg. That one's got some density. I think that one's got a lot of shelf life in him, even to get you to that February, March time frame. And again, if you can keep them that square, that good in their skeleton, base width and squareness, that looks like a feeder's dream to me there in lot 9. Lot 10, the gilt, I asked Jimmy earlier, I said, did you really want to bring this? And he said, no, this is the type that we keep at home. And I think that's another one. I think that one, again, that one reads dense and stout. I'm surprised he brought her. And being out of tricked out, I think you got very, very high resale value there if that one makes a sale. And I would anticipate that one's got as good a shot as maybe any of them out here in terms of OYE potential. Lot 9 and 10, Kilmer Swine Farm.
Yeah, and I think Jim brought a pair that's the right kind. Looks like he's been petting on a little bit, but very, very high ceilings on both of these. All right, we're on to Jimmy's final two here. It'll be lots 11 and 12. The belted pig is going to be lot 11. That's a tricked out, never before visionary. Be the same mother as Cooper's fourth overall at OYE 2 years ago, and then the fourth overall cross gilt 2 years ago there at State Fair that Jim's oldest son showed. Lot 12 would be the Calico. That's a next gen, back on the never before. This is a gilt first time litter, but she showed, I think, for the Mendoza crew there in California and got along extremely well.
Yeah, and if you ask Jimmy, I think he's going to like this lot 11 a lot. With Kilmer, if he likes the sow family, they're normally going to feed, and that's a pig right there. I said, I asked him why. I said, you going to put that pig in the second round? But that one looks like the ones that Travis and Jake and I and Nate, we fed a lot of those pigs from Kilmer. They start off looking like that, and they're in the end. That pig's very, very attractive, height to shoulder, stoutness to skeleton, but looks like the right maturity pattern to us. I'm not going to say he's wound up with muscle and shape right now, but based on his pedigree, again, tricked out, never before visionary, that's some pretty potent stuff there. That pig looks like he's going to feed. Barra guys should definitely be looking at lot 11, in my opinion. Then you got the Calico. You want one that's different marked, and to be able to stand out to make the sale at some of these major stock shows. You got to be different. You got to be unique. Not only color pattern, but that pig's pretty unique to me.
All right, we're gonna next group in is going to be the True Genetics. Ryan and Brian brought looks like a 4 head here. We're going to start off with the pair of blues. These would be heaters. Back on a Crickets King of the Hill. This is actually a bred gilt purchase there from the Build-A-Brand Heimer sale, and I got to just haven't been here long, but these pigs are pin bias and got to creep on them a little bit, and I think a really good pair of blue boars that with the new light cross division at OYE, I think could be exceptionally good regardless of their color. As I said, heaters, Crickets, King of the Hill.
Yeah, and 2 litter mates here. Pick your poison. You can ask Platt which one he likes better. But without a doubt, if you want to get in the light division at OYE, these 2 can certainly do it. That lot 13 is a stouty. He is very, very stout. That one looks like he's going to have a lot of shelf life. That's a huge blade, a big forearm. That's the stoutest one so far, and I know we're early in the preview, but that's the stoutest one we've rolled through here. Jaw, forearm, hind leg, and yet that thing's got very good proportions and a very good look. The other pig here that Brantley's on, lot 14, very, very similar situation. This Barra already cut, ready to roll. You can tell that these 2 are litter mates. Very, very dense. Forearm, got a huge hind leg. Travis, which one do you like best?
The blue one. I like the blue one, you bet. All right, the next 2 in are going to be the last 2 here from True. Be a pair of 20 litters. They're sired by Back It Up, back on the King and the Lock It Up sow. I know the grandmother goes back to the Jude sow there at Bobles that was granted LSU, and I know that he's kept some daughters. These guys purchased her as a mature bred, and sure done some good things, keeping daughters and different things, sired by Back It Up. And Back It Up is the $80,000 Sloan boar at Perfect Time. He remembers him.
Yeah, it was a very good boar when they purchased him there, and I saw that boar mature out, and a boar that's represents a tremendous amount of quality. And I would say these two bears similar in build to what that boar was. That boar was very, very complete, balanced, but yet had some of those extras that it's going to take. I like this lot 15 quite a bit. You talk about just shape, dimension, and one that's, I'm not going to say that he's going to be the biggest in terms of frame, but one that's opened up. It's got some density, a skeleton to him. And then lot 16, that one's going to be more extended, taller at the point of his shoulder, more attractive probably right now. But again, a very good pair there, sired by a very good boar from True.
Yeah, and I know that these would be some of the first ones. I think, Brian, they started him late a little bit there, just didn't want to start him too early, but I know this is probably some of the earlier ones, and a nice showing. That was a really good sire. All right, we're going to bring in the Platte Show Pigs lots. So we got, let's see, what? 18 and 21 are what we're running in here. 18 would be a Mimic Dirty Harry. That is a Mimic's a first-time boar we've got there, a young love son. Just had a few litters out of him, but sure did a nice job for us. And then the mother would be the grandmother, produced our reserve grand there at MLE there last year. So that would be the lot 18. Lot 21 would actually be the doing this teacher's pet. That's not right. What? They're litter mates. Yeah, sorry, my paper's wrong. I remember them at home, but they are litter mates. So what I just said twice. No, they're they're Mimics, Dirty Harrys.
Again, another very good pin by Platte. Brantley, are you on your favorite, or do you like the other one? Huh? I would probably agree with Brantley. The intact boar pig there in lot 18. Again, look at that one's jaw, his head, his forearm. Very, very stout featured. Big arm, big hind leg, but yet a hind leg that can reach and flex. And we can put all the bone in them we want, but they still got to be able to move at the end of the day. In order to win a big show, you're going to have some stoutness, and you're going to have a hind leg. Littermate Barra there, the thin belted Barra, maybe not quite as far along, just in maturity, but has got some of those extras we talked about with the boar. Very good in terms of look and extension, and at the same time, very, very square in terms of his overall build. Nice pair there in Platte, lot 18 and 21.
All right, our next three are going to be 17, 17, 19, and 20 are going to be our next lots. We'll start off with lot 17. This would be the Oklahoma State colored one there, the kind of tan hog there. He'd be a double-bred young love, be a Mimic young love, first-time gilt, but one that didn't have many in the litter, but that pig's pretty unique. Double-bred young love there. The lot 19 over there would actually be a doing this. Family Ties would be actually a Farnham sow that one's out of. Doing this is the Burger boar we bought and bred half our sows to. Had a very good first crop with them, bringing some density and stoutness to our sows. And then the lot 20 hog is going to be the all-black hog right here. He'd be a doing this teacher's pet. Mother actually came from Sloan and did a nice job here, a couple litters that she's had.
Again, another nice trio here by Platte. We got different colors, different shapes, different sizes. We'll start with that lot 20, that solid black pig that Brantley's on. And whether you're in or out on solid black ones, that one still needs to be looked at. If that one has white feet or a belt, who knows how high the ceiling is with that pig. But don't get discouraged just because he's solid black. You get those solid black ones, hairy and dark. They can run. They have won. They'll continue to run, at least, I guess, if I'm judging, if they're good enough. You get that thing solid black. He's going to stand out. I think that's a pig that looks like he's just going to feed. Shape of blade, shape of top, very good through his center body. That one looks like a very, very low maintenance type of a pig that's going to have a very high ceiling. That red one over there, you may love or hate his color, but of the pigs in the back of the barn, that thing needs to be looked at. That thing is wild necked. That thing is very, very proportional. He's short-bodied. He's good through the center portion of his body, and yet still square. I wouldn't be afraid to look at that. You want to stand out at OYE. You want to stand out at some of those Texas majors. His color might not be for everybody, but you better look at that lot 17. And then you got that belted one that Brantley's on. That thing comes right at us on the screen there. Jaw, forearm, blade with the chest. That's going to get you a look right out of the gate at any show. So good trio, different color, different makeup. It'll be interesting to see what people think of some of these tomorrow.
All right, next up is going to be Dieter King Duroc herd coming out here. We've got his 3 red ones coming out there. I don't know where the King's even at. Probably had to go home. But we're going to start off. Looks like we've got lot 60 and 61. So the boys are on here are going to be Buried My Bone, Last Drop. And I know that goes back to that Trey Sow back the way that actually I think sold in this sale. Yeah, no? They did. Some of them did. They did good. Okay. Goes back. The Grand Gilt and record seller at Tulsa actually goes back to that sow line. I know that out of a Dieterding sow. So obviously we've got a Gilt and a male pig here on the 24s. Be Bury My Bones, Last Drop, and then the pig number 62 right here is going to be a Here's the Deal, Backdrop, Last Drop. And a similar story, it goes back the grandmother would actually go back to that sow as well. So I know that Kevin doesn't have many red sows, but awfully he's hit a pretty good lick with them, and obviously that have generated on down the way. But brought 3 real good ones, it looks like to me.
Yeah, and Kevin actually texted me a couple days ago and shot me a video of this gilt that he was going to bring there, and I said, that one looks pricey. Do you have any litter mates? And but he was excited that the Mosteller Gilt that brought 78,000 there at Tulsa the other day did go back to one of those sows at Trace, and that Last Drop female was probably one that honestly we probably shouldn't have sold. But I'm happy, good customers, and I'm always happy when they generate and breed on. And you know, I'm not going to say that she's the fullest just in terms of center body, but if you're looking for one that's got some parts and pieces that'll be there in the end, again, we talk about height to shoulder, and if you can get red ones that are square in their build, that look like they're going to feed, that aren't just little sawed-off midgets, I think that one definitely can do that. That one looks like she's going to grow. That one looks like she's going to mature. And then you got 2 males out here, maybe a little different in contrast and style. The one there in the center of the ring, lot 62, probably a stouter, denser version. Big arm, big blade, big bodied, stout about his head. And then the other male there would be lot 61. Probably got a little more height to shoulder and extension there. So pick your poison between those 2 males. But once again, a good pen with very, very good pedigree here from Dieterding.
All right, this is Dieter King's here, his final pin. We got a pair of crosses, a gilt and a male pig there. We're going to start off with the dark cross gilt. She would be quite frankly, mother raised the Cooper Bucks class winning bear at OYE. Grand commercial at Tulsa there last week was actually a gilt. The mother's a gilt out of her, the mother of this one. So obviously some power in the blood. And then the light cross male pig here would be a quite frankly curtain call lot lizard. Mom raised the board. We've gotten stud we call Holy Smokes, and obviously that lot lizard sow and is so potent in Kevin's program, and obviously hogs that feed extremely well out of this pedigree.
Yeah, with quite frankly, obviously a littermate, no stranger that Mark Gray raised that's there at Premium Blend. Those pigs at the sales I've been to have been some of the more intriguing pigs. They've sold very well, but they look a lot like this gilt right here. Those quite franklies are very stout. Head, jaw, arm, and hind leg. The ones that I've seen, we only had one litter at home, didn't settle quite as well to him. But they've been very stout. They've been well received by the general and the buying public. And that one looks like a quite frankly to me. Jaw, forearm. That one's, I think, got a very high ceiling. That one, Dieterding has been on a roll over the years there at OYE and putting those gilts and barras in the premium sale. That one looks like she can do it for sure. She's got some of those extreme pieces that we talked about. And then you got that blue barra, which would also be a quite frankly, again, similar situation. Those things are going to be stout. I think if on those quite franklies, if you can get their neck long enough to go there in the end, and that barra and this gilt, I think look and read like they're going to be able to do that. Another good pair here by Dieterding, sired by quite frankly.
All right, we're going to roll in here to GNS. Garrett brought a good group here. I think he's got 6 he's bringing in. We're going to bring 2 to start with, be lots 33 and 34. The first one is going to be the lot 33, which actually is right here closest. Brantley's got 33. 33 is a tricked out never before. Mother raised the bear that won the bear battle last year at perfect timing and got him a popper, if I recall. There and
out there in the lot.
Yeah, you bet. Nice popper, good hog that won there. Obviously, some sow power back the way. Littermate boy brought 14,000 last week there at the King sales. So obviously, tricked out never before. The tricked out deals worked extremely well for GNS. I know had a bunch of winners here this summer. The other barra or other male pig is going to be a roll call next intention never before. Dam many-time champion there in Ohio and a mate to Criminal Intent at Real McCoy's. So obviously some pedigrees that make sense, and it looks like it's got some winning behind it on the south side.
Yeah, 2 very interesting pigs, and I saw these pigs going to the wash rack back there. Very interesting. These 2 pigs are maybe a little different in type and kind and style. This lot 33, I mean, you talk about density. I don't know if we'll see many that are as stout as this one. That's a huge hind leg. And looks like could be a feeding barra just in terms of proportions or a boar prospect. Very stout. And then you got that lot 34, I believe it is. Very sharp looking, height to shoulder, length to neck. I wouldn't rule this one out on stoutness as well. That's a big hind leg. That pig list looks like could feed extremely well. Not the biggest, not the bulkiest right now, but looks like a big ring show barra here in GNS, lot 33 and 34.
Okay, the next 2 in are GNS second pin of 3, be lots 35 and 36. Be a pair of 30 litters. They're sired by, quite frankly, on the Hold the Line, the King. I know that Dam's a littermate sister to Lighthouse at Moyers, and then the Grand Dam's actually a littermate to the OYLE replacement Ohio State Fair 2020 show. Grand Dam's a littermate to that Grand Bear there. So tags are going to be 35's right here, closest to the fence, and 36 is in the middle.
Again, we talked about that quite frankly a little earlier there with Dieterding, and to me, those pigs, you can pick them out. They're very stout, jaw, forearm, and hind leg. Again, 2 very good pigs. Sproul's probably spent as much money gathering females up across the country and putting them together as good as anybody. And when he brings them out in the public, people have to look at them just in terms of quality. And then obviously he produces results at the same time. I'm not sure which is better. Again, you got one that's a little more boxy, wide, stout. You got one that's got a little more height to shoulder. But again, a good pair here from GNS.
This will be the final pin from GNS, be 36 and 37. 36 is going to be the bearer right here, the predominantly black one. Got some, I guess he is all black, but 36 is going to be quite frankly, hold the line king. I'm sorry, 37. 37 is a tricked out rodeo. That would be the solid black pig. A mother came from Heimer last year out of his fall sale, and then 38 is going to be a roll call, no intro, cruel, and dams a mate to the $18,000 exchange lot, full sibbed and no stranger, and quite frankly, there at Premium Blend.
Again, another tricked out. This black pig, again, they go to the wash rack. We're pinned right back in the back. To get a black one to be able to compete, I think you got to get him dark. You got to get him hairy. That thing is very, very hairy for a little pig. He's got huge shag on his forearm, his hind leg, and again, I wouldn't be scared of that pig just because he's solid black. Put a belt or white feet on that one. That one gets awfully competitive. That's a good hog. One I saw go to the wash rack there earlier. I asked Sproul, I said, what is that little thing? Maybe one of the smaller pigs in the sale, but that 37 pack's a big punch. And then you got that other pig there in lot 38. Again, as we talked about, pick your poison, height to shoulder, length to neck. Sometimes those skinny green ones are the ones that are be there in the end. So another good pair. GNS brought a good set here to Holy Smokes.
All right, next lot's in, or looks like Heron Pork Farm LLC is going to bring his Duroc herd in. He's got, looks like 3 of them, 2 different litters here. We'll talk about the 37 litter first. That would be lot 93. 93 would be the lighter heighted one right here. Lot 93 is a main character, My Boy Blue, mother's multiple-time grand champion last summer. 94 and 92 are actually mates, be mate males there. Looks like 92's over here, and then 94 Brantley's on. So those are going to be born with it, back on the full throttle. Mom was a sale maker OYE last year. Bid, buy, win, show, it says.
Yeah, exactly. If you're showing in Oklahoma, as you guys know, if you're going to go get competitive in the red breed, you're going to have to go through Heron at some point. And a guy that's very, very sharp, a good friend of mine, a good friend of Travis's, and a guy that can just flat put them together. And again, I've never seen Brock bring one out that's going to be a little frail, narrow-based one. He's going to breed to the extremes, and a lot of times those extreme ones are the ones that can win. Travis, I don't know which one's the best one in this group. I'm not smart enough to figure that out, but very, very good set of red pigs here. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a picture next year up here on the wall from one of these that come from Heron. Very good sow families. Travis, which one is the best?
I like the red one. No, I don't know. They're all different. Like, pick your types and kinds, what you like to feed. I think that there's quality there for darn sure, and ones that are going to maintain, easy to stay. The red bears that have that much power and bone, it doesn't go away. So I think the right type and kind for this country for darn sure. All right, Heron's next 2 in. These would be, let me get into the right ones. We're going to be lot 91 and lot 95. 91 is going to be the all-white bear there that Brantley's on. 91 is a change the game blow, built for speed. I think he likes him with these notes the way I read it. So he says he's pretty good. He likes him. So I agree with him absolutely. That pig there, solid white, belted blue, chrome, whatever you want. That's a pretty good one. And to make him all white in that division anywhere, I'd say that one it needs to be on a short list. And then the litter mate blue bear, it looks like to me right here. Obviously, we talked about the light cross program that's starting this year at OYE, or if you want to take him to Texas Major, San Angelo, or wherever, just show him as a cross. Looks like the right kind of pig for that as well. Yeah,
that lot 91 there that Brantley's on, again, solid white, Again, if you want to get in a division that is a little bit different, that one's definitely going to be able to bang with the big boys. I'm not saying he's the most loaded up in terms of muscle or width, but pattern profile, length of neck, maybe one of the more extreme ones just in terms of height to shoulder and length of neck right there, and still very flexible, very sound. Then you got his litter mate, going to have a little more blue on him, but definitely compete in that light division. Tags 91, 95, Aaron Genetics.
All right, next in is JD Show Pigs and Spotted Poland China Farm. But no, JD looks like he brought two different pins. We're going to start off with 96, 97, and 98. We'll talk about the spot first. That would be a mattress pad, Mr. NS. First pigs offered out of mattress pad, which is the boar that these guys raised and then sold as a mature in the exchange. They made a big purchase there. That Jervis OYE gilt made a boar, and I know sold quite a bit of semen down here in Oklahoma and other states for sure. But that'd be one of the first mattress pads out, and that's maybe a first-time gilt if I recall. She raised, no, the sow raised the champion spot at the Coba last year, so she's had a couple. Obviously, that sow line that goes back to mattress pad has worked awfully well. So that's the spotted pig. The other one is going to be lot 98 here closest to me, the bigger barra, Dirty Secret. So kind of an outcross pedigree. No, just kidding. Obviously, that sow and that sow line is fed extremely well as well. And then the lot 96 would be the same thing, would be a litter mate there, Dirty Secret. And the sow actually. Here is Epic's mom, so it goes back, raised the Lackey Pig Reserve at Fort Worth there in their division.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to judge the Coba show there last year, and that spotted bear was very good, and I'm not sure what he looked like as a little pig, but I think that 97, that spot represents a lot of quality. A bear that's got shape to his blade. That one's got shape and dimension, but still a very good look. And that one, if he grows out anything like that one at Coba, you're certainly going to be in the money. That thin belt over there is a pig again I saw in the back. I asked JD what that thing is out of, and both of these are mates, but I like that thin belt one a bunch. Again, balanced proportions. It's got a big ring look in terms of height to shoulder, length of neck, and yet very good hind leg in terms of range of motion and flexibility. Nice pin here by JD.
So that obviously out of Dirty Secret, frozen semen, and boar barra potential. I would say there's not a lot of that left in a lot of tanks, so take that into consideration. And obviously, Dirty Secret won everything a couple times. So next ones in are going to be the final pin here. From JD would be 99 and 100, if I'm right. Yeah, 99 and 100. We've got a gilt Andy Barra, or a male pig. We'll start off with the 11-litter male pig, be an in-game Red 7 mom of this sow. Mom's the one, the Red 7 sow that if you follow the program and what he's done, is built around extremely well, and they win. And no introduction to that. Lot 100 is going to be a solo gilt. Quite frankly, Anchorman, Hold My Beer 71. I know that that mom has averaged a very high amount on her first 3 litters. Incredible in terms of the way they feed. And then Grandma actually goes back to the Cinderella sow that's the world record selling crossbred there that has worked extremely well for Sloan and Hildy in her short amount of time. So a lot of power in the blood. If you talk about just a gilt and a male pig, that obviously are bred right but have a bright future.
Yeah, very good pig there in 99 in game, but more importantly, I think this gilt's very special. Quite frankly, we talked about that boar earlier, and then if you want to study some of the south side and the pedigree there, you got Anchorman, and then that Hold My Beer 71 goes back to Cinderella. I was bridesmaid on that female, but I think a very special one, a very unique one there. She happens to be lot 100. JD, I'll give you $100 for her if you want to sell her before, but very unique female there. A lot of 100.
All right, next lot in, we've got 3 pigs here from a young breeder in Illinois, Kyle Knauf. Everybody's heard of him. He's just kind of getting started there. No, jokes aside, he's not here. He's had other obligations, so he split the troop. And obviously, the Knauf firm is good friends of ours, and obviously no stranger to having probably a memorable, most memorable VIP season last year for darn sure. But he brings us 3 male pigs. The lot 22 is going to be this the traditionally belted white sock pig. That'd be a next play back on the WAP there. Goes back. Next plays are feeding extremely well. And then that distinct that goes back to Sink Sal, raised the champion lightweight at Denver last year. Lot 23 is going to be the calico bear or calico boar pig, tricked out never before. Seemed to the never before Sal backed away. Visionary Grand Dam sired our grand bear there at the Indiana State Fair in 2019. And obviously the tricked out or next intention. Never before. If anybody follows the Texas major scene, that's what all 3 of his major winners were. So a lot of similarities there. 24 is his final one. Would be the thinner belted hog, tricked out, Rule 21, maternal grand dams breaking rules dam, and then she'd actually be the maternal grand dam of the Grand Barra at Houston this year.
Obviously, Knauf needs no introduction. Probably. Maybe cut it as the widest swath of anybody here in the last 15, 20 years last year. And good friends of Travis and I, and we buy a lot of pigs from him as well, and pigs that are going to feed. This is what you'd expect on ones from Knauf. Again, they're not going to be the biggest, the bulkiest, the bloomiest all the time, but they're going to be pigs that feed extremely well. I like that thin belted one over there. That calico is one that's going to be very, very unique just in terms of base width and proportion. And then if you look at the pedigree or you got a half hour, you can call Knauf and he'll explain the whole Sal family to you. But those next plays have been good, and obviously tricked out needs no introduction here in Knauf's.
All right, our next breeder in, just a young breeder here, Ryan Seitz. No, just kidding. Seitz needs no introduction. Rhodey made me read them all because he can't read them, but he did recognize Ryan's face, so he may be able to guess this one right. But Ryan brought us a pair of hogs here, Seitz Livestock entries, be lots 56 and 57. We'll start off with the 56 hog. That's the black-headed hog. He'd be sired by All Rise back on a Nothing to Hide sow. Mother actually came from Stolquist there and was actually a litter mate to the Grand Guild overall there at Tulsa in 2020 that I actually had the honor to judge. And I know that her and her sister have done a tremendous job for them, not only as show gilts, but ones that have made some hogs for darn sure. So All Rise, Nothing to Hide on the black-headed hog. And then the 57 is going to be a Soul, Nothing to Hide. And then that sow actually is the litter mate that was actually the Grand Guilt at Tulsa. So he brought 2 hogs out of some new young sows that need no introduction, that obviously had a very, very good run there. And Soul, I know, recently just sired the Grand there at Dallas and sired the Grand at the Illinois State Fair. So a lot of power in the blood on both sides.
Yeah, 2 very good pigs, and again, a pair of pigs that I saw back there in the barn. I asked Ryan, my first question is, Rhett showing bears or not? Why are you letting this pair go? And I'm very high on this black-headed pig. He may be a little off-marked and off-colored, but we talked about that on some of the other ones. You're going to have some separation when you win your class at OYE, and then you come back from the Grand Drive. I like that pig a lot. Very, very good hog, just complete, but yet has got some of those extras that it's going to take. And then the belted barra there on the far side, maybe one of the smaller pigs, but yet represents a ton of quality. I think 2 very good pigs here from Seitz that look like they're pigs that are going to feed in terms of maturity pattern, in terms of their proportions. A good set here from Seitz in 56 and lot 50. 7.
All right, next in, we've got 2 entries from Brook Show Pigs here. We've got a Burke and a Chester. The Burke male pig is a Pound Town Wild Thing. Male pig is out of the same sow that produced the $18,000 9th overall Burke gilt there at OYE that Laird's bought the past spring. And then that one is intact, so he is obviously a boar. The gilt, Chester gilt, is a big screen we're in. Gilt's is out of the old Tibbet sow, and I know that I'm pretty good buddies with those guys there. Goes back to that we're in deal and sure worked extremely well for them. Gilt would be the same mating as Tibbet's reserve breed champion Chester at Houston there the past spring. And I know these guys have I've brought some Chesters out, I think, to the last Holy Smoke sale that were really well received as well. So no stranger here, and I don't think a mistake by making a couple very high-quality pigs.
Yeah, that lot 59 would be the Chester, as Travis said. And for me, I guess maturity pattern on a Chester, that's what you want them to look like. If you want to be there in the end, that one's very, very loose, very, very flexible, but yet at the same time looks like she's going to feed. Those wound up, bunchy muscled Chesters, I'm not sure are always there in the end. This one's the complete opposite of that. Very, very feminine in her design, but yet loose in terms of her skeleton. Good out of her shoulder, very good hip and hind leg. And then you got that Berkshire male. This is a stoutie without a doubt. That one could run with some of the crosses that we brought in. Very, very dense in his skeleton, jaw, forearm. He's got a big fat hind leg to go with it, and yet got shape and balances up high. Nice pin there by Brooks in lot 58 and 59.
All right, next one's in. We got May's Show Pigs, obviously no stranger to the spotted game or getting along extremely well within that breed. These guys here, it looks like they brought an awfully good group. The small amount of time I've been here, I got to see these run by us, and looks like they brought a tremendously good group. The spotted gilt's where we're going to start. That would be lots 106, the spot gilt, solo gilt in there. City Limits Lampoon. Sal would have, the mother of this one would have been 4th overall at Expo for Cade Penley there a few years ago, and grandmother would be, grandma's the mom of Playboy. Lots 105 is actually the pig right there. The darker, yep, they're turning him there in the corner. 105 is a City Limits Playboy. The boar, that boar actually sired their champion gilt at the Fall Classic last year. Had 2 bearers that made the sale at Houston as well. And then lot 107 is a drop step, Keep Dreaming. Drop step would be a mate to their champion bearer they had at the National Western and the $50,000 crossover boar. That boar did an awfully good job. Sal would be 3rd overall at Tulsa and raised the reserve division at Summer Type there in 19. So, as I said, obviously no stranger to the spotted game.
Yeah, Mays needs no introduction, as Travis said, and I think pick your poison on those 2 males. There's one that's probably a little more extended up front. There's one that's a stoutie, big chest, big arm, very good in terms of his center body here in the pig that's closest to us. And then you got a spotted gilt, as Travis said, Power Pack pedigree. Again, you want some hot ones with high resale value there come March. Certainly that's a gilt that you can certainly look at.
All right. We need a water. We need a stage 5 water. All right, we got Colson Show Pigs dropping in here. Just brought us a pair of male pigs. 109 and 110 are the lot numbers. 109 is the belted pig. Yes, 109 is the belted pig. It'd be a backdrop. Next intention. The mother is the $60,000 grand that Hayden Green showed. Be a litter mate to Quitting Time. This is her first true litter. Obviously, anybody that has a heartbeat remembered that gilt that won OYE. And this is neat to see a pig out of her. Backdrop obviously had a tremendously a good run and sired by him, predictable pigs that have fed extremely well. So a really good kind of a belted bear there. And then the light cross is going to be a No Other back on the Nomad. Mother was a bred purchase from Morgan. She's a litter mate to Salvage there, standing at Moyers. So obviously these guys don't need any introduction to the bear game or the gilt game, and it's proven pedigrees on both sides. Bred gilt they bought, and then this gilt here that was obviously a tremendous kind of a show gilt in the mother of the belt.
That blue one, a good pig in his own right. I think that one can bang there. It's in the light division, but good luck bidding against each other tomorrow on that belted one. I'm glad my kids aren't showing where I got to try and buy something like that. He looks very, very expensive to me. Very good pig, lot 109.
All right, Day Family Show Pigs are bringing us the first 2 of 4 in the ring. Got a pair of dark crosses. It looks like the 28 and 29 litter. Lots 147 and 148. 147 is going to be over here, the smaller pig. We'll start with him. He's a backdrop in-game kingpin. Dam was their $45,000 OYE purchase from Hofschultes. I know that these guys have put together an amount of sows and some predictability. Seems like time after time you get to see these pigs. Whenever I get to come this way or go to Kansas City, they've always got something in the hunt because they're sow lines. The next one is going to be the 148 there. She in-game, no intro, lock it up, and obviously the in-games have fed extremely, extremely well. Grand Dam's the mother of the Reserve Grand Gilt there at OYE in 20.
Again, nice, very nice pair of pigs, and you want to talk about one that's tall-shouldered, very, very extended. That wide-belted one there in the center of the ring. Again, he's not going to be the biggest and burliest of the pigs that we probably roll through here, but you look at pattern, skeleton, silhouette. That thing's maybe as freaky as any of them, just in terms of his front 1/3, and yet still got a good set to his hind leg. And then you got that belted pig that comes at us. That one's wide, square, genuine, up high, and also very good in terms of base width. That wide belted one is very, very intriguing in terms of like we talked, pattern and silhouette. The wide belted one's 148. I believe the other belted, traditional belted one would be 149.
Yeah, 149's pedigree. I did say wrong. He is a hero, rock star. Dam was a consistent generator, putting bears and gilts in at OYE. The hero boar is at Hofschultes and done a tremendous job. And I've talked to those guys how well he's done, and it kind of makes sense there. I was told there's a correction, but looks like very, very feedable, good kind of pigs. Okay, this is 147 and 150 coming in there. So, we're going to start with 147. We're introducing that one again. Backdrop, in-game kingpin, and their mother would actually be out of the $45,000 Hofschulte purchase. Makes sense. That one there looks like a backdrop, and the backdrops that have won. We've got a little more bigger size for the sale, and I think that's a good thing if you're looking still for a bear or boar prospect. That pig there's got the right type and kind for a backdrop with a flexible hind leg. And then the all-black hog here is going to be lot 150. Is that right?
Yep.
150 would be a backdrop in-game kingpin, and that actually is a litter mate to the one I just talked about.
Two litter mates, once again, as Travis said, maybe a little bigger in size, but that one looks like he's got a lot of shelf life. You want to jackpot early and keep them rolling. Be very, very competitive. That belted thing's good in his own right. I think that still can be there at the end as well. Loose skeleton, very good in terms of hip and hind leg. That's a very good pig in lot 147.
Didn't even recognize Maverick. Got that lumberjack beard going on. Mav, I like it. All right, we're going to get into Maverick. Just brought, this would be the Rep Maverick Show Pigs entries. Looks like they brought 3. We're going to roll them in here. Be in-game. We've got a pair of 30s, and then the 33 is going to be the different one. So we've got a pair of 30s. This would be lots 66 and 67. which is actually going to be 60. The two belted hogs are the mates, the gilt and the male pigs. So 66 and 67 are in-game fireproof. I've talked about in-game, how good those pigs are, and I actually visited with Maverick a little bit what he was bringing, and he was sure high on these, and it makes sense because predictable pedigree for darn sure goes back to a fireproof sow. And I think one of their favorite male pigs, and it makes sense that he's brought out. And the gilt, I think, is a tremendously good kind of a gilt. In-game fireproof on those, so he looks like he's sandbagged and saved some real good ones here for smokes. The calico is a really good bear as well, or boar pig, would run as a dark cross never before wedding night. Looks like he went back and used never before, and looks like a great feeding big-legged one with the right type and kind. So real good pair here, and a real good gilt as well.
Yeah, certainly Mav is one of the harder guys to ever talk and communicate to. He's just non-personable and a rough individual, but no, Mav's honestly one of the great people in this industry, and consistency time in, time out. I still remember the pigs he brought to Holy Smokes over the years, and he's always going to say back a very, very good set for this. The in-game thing, maybe not the new and current boar, but a boar that's probably one of the more impressive boars that I've witnessed in person as a mature hog. Those pigs have fed extremely well. Very, very good gilt here, just in terms of one that's, immature, but looks like is going to continue to get better. I like that 66 on the far side, which would, I believe, is the gilt's litter mate there. Jaw, forearm, and again, very, very complete. Not messed up in any area. Looks like the right maturity that's going to feed, continue to mass up. And then you got the little calico there in lot 68. Very, very small, but yet can pack a big punch in the end. That's a big hind leg, wide dew crawl spread. Very good about his head and neck. Again, Mav always brings a good set here to Smokes. He did it again this year, in my opinion.
Heimer Hampshire's coming in next, lot 42, 43, and 44.
They always slide into the table.
Looks like lot 42 is the light cross there at 88 litter. He's a State of the Union. His mother is a Cricket's King of the Hill. Once again, we're talking about 42. That's the blue bear there in the center part of the ring. The mother is a mate to the Grand Bear at the Missouri State Fair in 2021. Lot 43 is the other blue one there. He's a knock-knock Crickets on a best-kept secret. The mother is one of their favorite Cricket daughters, and the grandmother is a no-miss best-kept secret that generates time after time. And then the Berkshire is lot 44. He's a sorry for the wait on a B354.
So just sitting down here, obviously, to take over, and this is a fun way to start. We sat down here and get to look at these blues, and I always like doing this because I get a good bird's eye view at these things, and my ADHD will slow down a little bit so I can actually study pigs when I got to stay busy. But I think these two blues are awfully fun. Now that we've got this light cross Barra show at OIE, I think that's two really good options to look into. Berkshire hog here, obviously no slouch just in terms of his feature and his build, the look he gives you. I think three really nice ones here that'll be fun projects to feed on through the winter time and into the spring. Very exciting trio.
Next coming in the ring is Danner Livestock. 32 is the Duroc Bear there. That pig is a motivation, rags to riches. His mother is a really impressive sow. That's a mate to the reserve red at Georgia National a few years ago. And then 29 is the spot male pig there. That is a Dustin double time. Mom's a mate to the champion at Indy from last year. There's a full mate that was a sailmaker at Houston. Really nice pair here from Danner Livestock. They've always done a really great job raising their purebreds, and I think this pair represents their group as much as anything.
I know Biscuit put a video up of this spot on his Snapchat the other day, and when he did, I was quick to reach out to him and ask what that thing was. I think just in terms of silhouette from the side, length of body, and proportions, that thing does so many things right. A hog that looks like you can feed him into March and have the right maturity pattern to be there, but I think that thing's look and just the outline he gives you from the side and make that one very competitive in a jackpot setting. I think that's a very good pig. And not to take anything away from this red one, because that thing's skull shape and spread up high are very elite. I think certainly a nice pair of purebred bears here to hone in on.
You know, the motivations have really fed well in the last year. I think their first crop was this summer, and they fed very, very well. And that pig is really one that speaks to me in terms of skull and foot size and shape. Really an athletic one with good muscle. That's a neat pig that'll feed really true, in my opinion. The next pair we're going to bring in from Danner Livestock are both dark crosses, lots 30 and 31. Lot 30 is the smaller one of the two. That pig is a hero, and then his mother is a proposal never before. So once again, he's a hero on a proposal. The mother is a reserve D3 gilt from Breeders' Cup from Boble from last year. Then lot 31 there, the larger one of the two. He's out of Misconception, and then his mother is a one-man band. The grandma is a champion gilt from the Southeast Regional in 2019. Misconception is a boar that Danner Livestock has there in-house, and from my perspective, you have to appreciate their job of just breeding hogs and using stuff that's at their place and making pigs that look like that. Once again, lot 30 and 31 from Danner.
Yeah, we talk about this lot 31 being out of Misconception, and I'll always remember that pair, Misconception and his brother, that Leatherman buys when Heimer ran them through the ring at perfect timing. Those things were so bold and so stout, and it's neat to see that they're going to go ahead and pass that on. That bear, that Misconception hog there, tag 31, is so stout about his skull and big and his rib. Looks a lot like his daddy did at this size, and it's neat to see that boar's going to generate kind of true to form. Other pig here is a little different in type and kind, this Hero deal, and Brock and I have talked a lot about the job Hero did a Siren Champion show pigs last time, and that one has the look of a champion to me from the side, just the length ahead of his blade. I think from there back, everything proportions well. Got a little extra chrome there that'll set him apart. I think a really nice pair here.
The next pair we're going to bring in are from Loudermilk. We've got lots 25 and 26. They're both spots. One comes with a pedigree and one doesn't. Lot 25 there that's an interesting pedigree from my perspective. That's a Whataburg on a Keep Dreamin'. Whataburg obviously needs no introduction, but maybe he's maybe not as known here in the spotted breed versus the Berkshires, and I think that's really inventive and creative going that direction. The mother of lot 25 was the reserve spot gilt at Nail in 2019. She also raised the reserve or the grand gilt in 2021 at the Team Purebred. The mother is one of their better sows. It's done a lot of winning. Once again, that's lot 21. It's on my left right here at the touch more white. He's a Whataburg. Keep Dreamin'. And then lot 26, another spotted one there, Street Fight on a half moon. Another really nice sow that raised a reserve spot gilt at Georgia National. She also raised a $19,000 gilt that was sold at Sweethearts last year that was campaigned very heavily and very, very successful. She was in the top 5 multiple times in Ohio, lots 25 and 26.
I think it's neat that this 25 comes out here sired by Whataburg, and I don't know about you, Brock, but I've always liked my spots a little crossbred with questionable parentage, so something like that kind of speaks to me in the spot world. Little different pedigree is always a neat thing, and that thing gets out here. He looks like a spot. He classes easy, and that thing is so classy looking from the side. I love that thing's length and extension up front. He's a long-rumped kind of hog. Like that a lot about that one. And then the darker colored pig there on the far side, obviously another one that comes out here and from the side just gives you a great silhouette, great look, good shape. I like this pair a great deal.
We're going to bring another pair here from Loudermilk in lot 27 and 28. 28 is the dark cross. He's a My Intention, and his mother is a Karma. So once again, lot 28, My Intention Karma. The mother of that belted pig there was the 3rd overall cross gilt at the 2020 Indiana State Fair. The mom is a mate to the 4th overall Division I cross from Exposition 2 years ago that was 3rd overall in that division, and the mother also raised a class winner at the Indiana State Fair. And then lot 27 is the other spot there. That's a heads up, sure thing. First litter mom that raised the 3rd overall. First litter, the mother raised the 3rd overall spot at Indiana State Fair and the 4th overall bear for the season family. So that's an impressive resume that sow is built there. And this bear that would be a 3/4 sib to that particular pig that was 3rd overall spot at the Indiana State Fair.
Again, and I know we're going to sound like broken records when we talk about just the quality when we get them out here, but this belted bear does a lot of things right. And I know Brock and I judged a jackpot show in Ohio this summer, and Loudermilk had raised a crossbred bear there that was competitive on that circuit all summer long. And this reminds me of that pig a great deal, just in terms of his look and style from the side, and just the squareness he's got when you step right in behind him. I think that's a neat pig that looks like he'll feed true to form. I think that one just continues to get better once you get him home. I see that one having a lot of upside as you go ahead and grow him out. Obviously, Spot Pig here is one with a lot of width and a lot of bulk. You get on top of that one, he's probably as massive of any as of that color that you're going to find. Hog's got a big hind leg and a neat look. Hard to do all those things with that color. So I think a pair here that's going to be awfully competitive. Hogs that look like they'll feed well. Really nice here from Loudermilk.
More CPS show projects coming in, lots 87 and 88 from Pruitt Livestock. Both Chesters, looks like they're both males. Lot 87 is a Delta, and then his mother is a Pillow Talk. The boar out of the same sow is a Slushy, our $13,000 boar from last year at Holy Smokes that was purchased by Frontline and the Reserve Chester Bear at the 2022 Southwest District, shown by the Cooper family. And then lot 88 there, another Chester male pig, nice show project that's a Delta. And then his mom is a Crackerjack Pillow Talk. The mother of that particular pig was the champion gilt from the 2022 Indiana State Fair. Nick Hofschulte and I judged at the Indiana State Fair this year. And the Pruitt Livestock bunch there, they had the champion and reserve Chester gilts, and they are absolutely awesome. And it's no surprise they bring a pair like this one here to Holy Smoke.
Man, these things are very good. And when I was teaching ag, I stopped by Pruitt's a couple of times and bought pigs. And that was a place that I like to buy pigs from, because you buy them and they'd feed a lot like they looked as little pigs. If you thought one was good built and attractive, they kind of stayed that way, and then you could feed a little power into them. Really like the consistency these guys have had, and obviously have been making a lot of winning Chesters for a long time. So I think this pair is certainly something to study in on for this breed. Some differences maybe a little bit in type and kind between them. You pick them how you like them and feed them how you want to, but I could see either one of these ringing a bell come March. Brock, are you aware that they named a boar from this sale Slushy?
Oh, that's awesome. And it makes a lot of sense. Lots 80, 89, and 90 are coming in next. Both Chester males once again. Delta, Jack in the Box, Littermate brothers. Their mother was the champion Chester gilt and 4th overall gilt from the 18 Team Purebred Junior National. Their dam is also a Littermate to We're In, and the mother of been there, done that, and Lockwood. So one of the better sows from Pruitt Livestock, I would assume. Lots 88 or 89 and 90, excuse me. These are Deltas, and their mother is a Jack in the Box.
I'm sure everybody ringside paying attention is pretty awestruck with that 90 when it comes in the ring. Just that thing's skull shape and this the spread to his blade and through his chest. That thing's really neat looking coming out of the gate, and that's the kind that it takes to win in a big show. Got to have a big motor when you come through the gate on the top side of the hills. That's certainly one that speaks to me. He's got the same kind of width and spread up high and leaves you square and true. And I think you could say that about both of these things. You step behind them, those are hogs that are powerful. They've got big hind legs. Everything remains true from behind. Still got a classy look up front. I think a really neat set of Chesters that Pruitt brought you. Encourage you to go in the back and find the one that fits your program best, because I think there's certainly some hogs there that are going to feed good.
Delta's been on a great run here in the last month as well, so that's also exciting from my perspective to see those hogs sired by Delta. The next pair coming in is lot 102 and 103 from Crone. both dark cross males. They're littermate brothers. Their pedigree is last minute on a quick and dirty. The last minute boar is a $52,000 Schwecke boar that sold last summer. That's a very impressive boar that's had a great start to his siring career. He had the champion at California, I believe, or maybe the state fair. That's a nice pair that Crone brought to us, lot 102 and 103, last minute on a quick and dirty.
Yeah, just looking at our sales sheet real quick, it looks like we're going to get to see 4 litter mates here from the Crone farm. And honestly, I saw these things in the back earlier, and they're cookie cutters. So it's nice to see a litter come that are all pretty close and similar in the way that they're put together. That can give you guys as buyers a lot of confidence that these hogs are going to feed truly. I always like buying and showing hogs that are out of deep litters. I think you can get a little consistency there, and you kind of know what you got as you approach them with the feed pan. I think these things are very good, and we're going to drop 2 more out right behind these that are going to look just about like these. Really classy looking hogs from the side that are give you a memorable kind of appearance from the blade forward. Hogs that are good chested, good built, the kind that just looks like it'd be fun to feed. I thought all 4 of these looked really neat as they headed to the wash rack earlier. I think a really neat set of pigs for you guys to study on here.
Yeah, that's definitely a nice pair that represent the good things that we're all drawn to as show judges, just that kind of balance and silhouette with athleticism and shape. Oh, those are the kind that find themselves to the forefront of most classes time after time. The next pair coming in next is lot 101 and 104. Also from Crone Farms, last minute, quick and dirty. Mates to the ones we had in the last pen, lots 101 and 104 once again.
I really don't know how Crone would have went ahead and set a sale order, what his thoughts would have been, because in my opinion, I think the quality between these is very close. I think if this is your style, if you like them with this kind of build, this kind of look, then you can sit around and bid and buy whichever one of these you like. I think 4 hogs here that are very good. I'd encourage you to study on them, find the one you like best, but I think it'll be tough to do because a really consistent litter, I think these things are very good.
It's not that tough, JD. I found my winner. Next lot coming in is lot 52 from Schulte Farms, dark cross female. This is a tricked out C and double Dirty Secret. The Dirty Secret grandma is the foundation sow there at Schulte Farms. She's the mother of the 2021 Reserve Grand Bear at OYE, the Supreme Gilt at Tulsa in 19, and Okie Dokie at SGI. So definitely one of the better sows that they have. Her daughters and granddaughters have produced all kinds of things, especially for the Watts Group. The $90,000 Urban Legend boar from last summer at the Exchange came out of one of those sows, and 2 herd boars at Hofschulte's. Another one, the Affliction Son at Premium Blend 2 weeks ago. This is really an impressive female out of a great sow line. Probably not something that's offered very often from Schulte Farms.
Yeah, and you can preach about that sow line and all the good that's came from that, and it's evident that those guys have had a great run. And then you look at the top side of this thing's pedigree, this tricked out deal's been all right too for people, I would say. So I want to be one of the last chances maybe this season to grab you a tricked out female. Obviously there's not going to be a lot of those coming for sale in the future. So I'd say dig in here out of a great sow line, great boar, not a lot of questions.
We're going to have a pair coming in next from Fraley family, lot 113 and 114, both light crosses. 113 is a gilt. Littermates here, last dance, checkmate is their pedigree. Their mother is a checkmate Genesis that they raised. This is their first litter. Nice pair here that both classify as light cross.
You know, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Fraley brought a really nice male pig at the last Holy Smoke, maybe out of this sow, or maybe it was a year ago and was a litter mate. But I remember there being something that tied into this checkmate Genesis deal that they had that was very striking and very good that sold through the same ring. And you get these 2 light crosses out here, and obviously we're going to talk about that a lot as it's a new thing that we're doing here. And I think that's a neat thing to give kids a different opportunity or another avenue to find a little success. And we're going to award a couple more kids banners at OYE and Tulsa and the shows that we're doing now. So I think that's neat that we're doing that. And I think obviously you look in at these things and just study the look, the muscle they've got. Going to be competitive show pigs here that the Fraleys brought you. A really nice pair of these light crosses.
We're We're going to bring Mullet Genetics in next. They've got a string of dark crosses they're going to bring to you. Several really nice ones. Looks like a couple litter mates. Litter mates, there's 26 litters and 25 litters. There's 2 gilts and 2 male pigs, as you'll see once they get out here. We're going to run all 4 together, looks like. So lots 115 through 118. Mullet Genetics are coming in the ring. Lot 115 and 117. So the 2 odd numbers that are in the ring are litter mates. They're at a Blackfoot, and their mother is a no introduction curtain call. Blackfoot is a trumpet bad to the bone back on no intro's mother. They are very excited about that boar, and I can see why as we see these pigs. The mother here is a no intro curtain call. That particular gilt came out of a Heimer bred purchase from last year. That littermate brother here to that sow sold here for like 9 or 10,000 last year, I believe, is one of the more impressive hogs that came through the ring, in my opinion. That's again lot 115 and 117. Blackfoot, no intro. And then lot 116 and 118 are litter mates as well. Honor code on a Cruel 95. The mother is a sale-making gilt from a couple years ago at OYE. She was the $10,000 purchase. She raised the reserve light cross at CYE this summer. That was a very, very nice gilt. I remember her specifically from a few years ago. That's the mother of lot 116 and 117.
Obviously, it looks like these things put the boxing gloves on out back and rough themselves up a little bit, but don't let that scare you away from the quality that's in the ring right now. There's a lot of neat pieces out there in terms of just stoutness and bulk. Obviously, if you followed the Mullet Genetics program over the last few years, these guys are not scared to implement the kind of females and step back and buy the stuff they need to buy to make competitive show pigs, and have done an elite job of line breeding some stock and making pigs that are going to feed consistently and work for people. Boars that they've put into place have obviously had a big part in our industry over the last couple of years. I'd challenge you all to step back and go and look at these pigs in the back, especially tomorrow, maybe after they get healed up a little bit from their little UFC battle they had in the back. But these are good pigs that come with a lot of shape, lots of muscle. Just watching them walk around the ring, it looks like hind leg design certainly in check at the Mullet Ranch, and that's never really a question there. A really neat set of pigs that they brought you. Go check these out in the back.
We've got Murrow Farms coming in next, lots 80, 81, and 82. I believe all 3 are going to come together. We've got a Chester, that's lot 81, Berkshire Bear there, that is lot 80, and then a Light Cross, that would be lot 82. The Berkshire, he's an all-in speak now. The mother is would have been the Reserve Berk from Tulsa in 2019. Then the Chester, the mother there was the $17,000 high seller from the Tulsa State Fair in 2021, and the grandma of those gilts, or that male pig, excuse me, was a champion gilt at Tulsa in 20. So a really prestigious sow line there behind the Chester. Then there's a Light Cross there that is a Savage Nomad, and then the mother is a bred sow purchase from Kurt Morgan. So a neat group there from Murrow Farms.
Obviously, Ross is another guy, like we talked about with Mullet, that's done a nice job of buying the kind of females you need to buy to build a herd and build a program around. And you drop these 3 males out here, and it's evident that these sows are doing their work at home. I guess I saw these in the back earlier. This Berkshire is one that hit me pretty hard in terms of just having an incredibly striking look from the side. That thing's silhouette is really second to none, and something that'll set you apart in that breed. That dog's got a very neat skull shape, and I think the length to his spine is near ideal in my opinion. A hog that's flexible and has got some reach from behind. I thought that one was very neat for those things. I'm guessing the guy sitting next to me is drawn pretty heavily to this Chester hog because that thing's got big legs, he's got the beef, all the things that Brock likes to talk about. So that thing's got some unique pieces, and then this blue one as well has got a lot of spread and a lot of bulk. I think a nice trio of male hogs here that the Murrow Farms crew brought you. I think certainly some hogs that are going to feed well.
Yeah, lots 80, 81, and 82 from Murrow Farms. Next group coming in the ring is Ritchie Livestock with 3 Polands. Looks like we got 2 females and a male pig. There's all 3 out coming in hot. But there's a pair of them that are litter mates, and another from a no clue sow. We got 108, 111, and 112. 108 and 111 are littermate 3 litters coming in hot Black Mamba. The mother would have been, she's a mate to the $60,000 Reserve Supreme Gilt at OYE in 21. That's an impressive sow line and definitely a highlight there at Ritchie Livestock. And then 112 is a Poland gilt coming in hot, no clue. This is a partner sow, TKO. That sow would be a mate to the reserve champion Poland gilt at OYE in 2022. There's really no one, in my opinion, in the Southwest and especially in Oklahoma in the Polands with more success than Ritchie Livestock, and he really brought a neat group here to Holy Smoke.
Yeah, absolutely. Papaw's Polands here look very good, and I guess when I saw these things in the back, this gilt hit me incredibly hard for just her look and the back shape that she's got. That's a big hipped female. I think one that obviously they've had a lot of success with in the Poland ring. I think that thing can follow suit. Very unique, and just the look that she gives you, the shape that she has, the spread she's got coming at you and going away. That's a partner sow, I think, with TKOs is what we read there. And I remember Richie telling me about that one on the phone, that he had one that he thought was pretty unique coming here, and certainly seeing her in person, she certainly fits the bill. These two males, I think, are ones that anyone trying to get their kid in the limo at OYE needs to pay attention to. There's probably no one that's had as much success in the Poland ring as this firm has. So when they're going to bring them to you at a live sale, they're bringing you their best. So I would step right in here and study up. Certainly if we're trying to get a kid in the limo, those are the kind that you need to try to look at. So I'd encourage you to study on those males very hard. I think a nice trio here from the Ritchie farm.
TKO Genetics is going to come in next, lot 126 and 127, both dark crosses, litter mates here coming in. They're no strangers, and then their mother is a Dirty South, Back to the Future. This sow is a top 3 female at the TKO ranch. They sold one of these gilts last week at the she sale. That was very, very impressive, and these definitely remind me a lot of that particular gilt that sold there. Lots 126 and 127 from TKO.
I think it goes without saying that when Kyle brings you pigs out to a pig sale, these things are always going to be stout. They're going to be big back. They're going to be burly. And he's had so much success in the show ring in whatever scenario it may be, whether the gilt show ring, the Barra show ring. This guy's made boars that have changed the industry and really helped out. And he's a guy that when he brings hogs into a ring, you should step up and pay attention. And you look at these things, I think there's a lot of uniqueness to these things. If you just want to look at their skull shape and the way their neck ties in to the top side of their blade, I think these are really neat show pigs. Lots of shape, lots of muscle, lots of bone, really classy look from the side. Got a little extra chrome for just a little added feature. I think a really neat pair. This gilt's one that hits me incredibly hard in the back. I've loved looking at this one as they've walked her to the wash rack a couple times today. Really neat pair that TKO brings you here. These are Jennings pigs. Brock's going to try to find some notes on them, but there's going to be some spots that are going to be bred by a boar that Jennings has got. I'm sure probably a sow that he raised also that won something somewhere one time. So I guess it's pretty close to that. I bet Brock found it by now.
No, I didn't find anything. But the good thing about Jennings' program is he has a program, so you can kind of feel confident in buying out of a program like his. You know, he keeps his own boars, breeds to his own boars, keeps his sows, and he does a good job. And honestly, for the past 10 years, he's been one of the powerhouses in the spotted breed, and you can see why. He's kind of spun off and made some Chesters. I'm not sure how pure they are, but that really doesn't matter in today's world. It's
doesn't matter in Jennings' house.
Those CPS breeders.
Yeah. CBS types. They do things a little different, but you get these pigs out here, and Jennings has sold an incredible set of pigs through this ring in past years, and he doesn't slack off in the ones that he brings you this time. Obviously, any of you guys that were at Tulsa just probably saw the gilt that Coy Craig drove that was a little different for the spot breed. That thing sold high and had lots of value, and you get these males out here, and they bring you the same kind of things that thing had in terms of just bone, shape, look. Really neat set that Jennings sent here. Chester males, obviously one that's got a great big hind leg. He's stout, he's wide. Lots of neat pieces here. The little pig can probably class Poland if you want him to. Pretty liberal in our classification policies at the Oklahoma Youth Expo sometimes, so you can probably get that one across as a Poland. I think a really neat set here. A lot of nice CPS breed hogs.
The spots here are sibs to the Poland Bear that Jennings had at OYE last year, and then a bear in the spot breed or the spot division from the year before that did very, very well. Once again, Brady Jennings genetics, nice set. Uncle Timmy is coming next. Heron Farms, looks like a pair of littermate brothers here. Dark crosses, lots 144 and 145. Tricked out, Trumpet, Little Bro, Tier 1, mate to a $5,500 gilt at the she sale. And then the Tulsa and Fort Worth Sailmakers. This is a special gilt. Or a show pig or sow, either one on the gilt there. The very, very nice individual there. Lot 145 is the gilt. Lot 144 is the male pig. It's a really stout prospect. It's been one of their favorites one of their favorite dams. That sow just produced a sale-making bear at the Tulsa State Fair, along with Fort Worth and several champions in Arkansas and San Antonio a year ago. It'd be a full sib to all rise. So that's a neat sow line there. Lot 144 and 145.
Well, you get these things out here and see that they're from Heron Farms, not to be confused with Heron Genetics, but these are Uncle Tim's pigs, and if you've been at a state fair this summer, Uncle Tim probably won it. That guy just didn't miss over the last couple weeks, and he gets here today and he gets a little red carpet treatment. These pigs are the reason why. He pulls in and backs up to the door, and you want to get him a pin close to the gates where everybody can see these pigs. Lots of look here, lots of style, certainly some pigs that come from a good sow line. That goes back to all the stuff that Mollett's won with. Really neat pair here that Uncle Tim brings you.
The next pair that come from Heron Farms is lot 143 and then 146. Lot 143 is going to be a solid white one coming in there. Change the game, Trumpet, in game, Hold My Beer, 71, Red 7. JD may know something about that sow line. The grandma, or the great-grandma, just had the reserve gilt at Tulsa and the reserve York at AYE. They think this one's a special bear. Lot 143, the solid white one. Then 146, the light cross blue one, is a quite frankly in-game Hold My Beer 71, Red 7. It's a really neat one. That sow just had the reserve gilt at Tulsa. That's a really good sow line there that backs both of these hogs in lot 143 and 146.
Yeah, this is a sow line that Uncle Tim tied into that came from our ranch, and certainly been proud to be kind of on the backside of some of Tim's story with some of his recent success. And I think you get these things out here, and they do a lot of the things that we try to do at our place, especially as you study in this white one. This is a pig that emulates a lot of what that in-game Red 7 sow could do for you. That's what a lot of those pigs have looked like at our place. Honestly, that pig reminds me a great deal of a pig we had out of that sow line that was the champion Yorkshire there at Tulsa, actually a litter mate to that in-game 71 grandma that pig's got. So that thing does a lot of the things that we try to do with that sow line. A neat look, a big hairy forearm, the right length of body. That's a really neat pig that has obviously already been fixed for you. So that's a bear prospect that has got one step of the game already corrected for you. So I think one you can take home there, a hog that's going to feed well. Blue one's got a lot of bulk and a lot of mass. Great big stout noggin laid in that thing. A hog that'll run well in the light cross division. Really neat pair. Uncle Tim brought you 4 good ones, and they're certainly pinned right there in the middle of the barn where no one can walk by without finding them. So you won't miss Uncle Tim in the back. Go check his pigs out.
We're going to bring another pair in from Wilbur Genetics, lot 76 and 77, both dark crosses. We've got a male pig in lot 76, and the 77 there is the gilt. They're both out of Hero, and their mother is a Trumpet. Their mother is a $15,000 gilt they purchased from Mollett in 2020. That would be no introductions. It's out of a no introductions mother, excuse me. She's also a litter mate to the All Rise boar that's at SGI. That's had a great run in his first set of pigs there. Littermate gilt sells for $12,000 the other night online, and they set these ones back here for Holy Smoke. This is a great pair from Wilbur Genetics, 76 and 77.
I actually called Wilbur last night and was talking to him as I bid about 9 or 10,000 on a little show gilt prospect that we were trying to own, and he told me about this one that was coming to the sale, and I asked him how much difference there was, and he said, hey, not really very much. This one's probably a little sharper looking than the one we sold last night. That one may have been just a hair stouter, and we get this gilt here to the sale today and look at her, and that thing's proportions are so good. Just the length to her spine is short, and I think that'll allow her to be kind of a robust pig as you get to feeding on her. Yet she's still extended ahead of her blade. She's long through her hip. That's a gilt to me that looks like she'll feed incredibly well. That litter sold high last night, and for good reasons. Those are incredibly good show pig prospects, and my congratulations to Grant on having a good sale last night. That's a neat set of pigs. Get that male out here and look at him as well. That's a stout noggin one. You put him in motion, that thing bends and flexes good from behind, got good shape up high. Wilbur crew certainly set the world on fire last night, and again, my congrats to them for that, but I wouldn't be surprised to tell you that they thought they set what their 2 best ones were back for this sale. So I dig in here. I think a lot of success to come from this 6 litter at Wilbur's house.
The next pair that we're going to bring in are also from Wilbur Genetics, lot 78 and 79. They're litter mates. Tricked out family ties. The mother of these 7s is a partnership sow with Dieterding. She's a litter mate to the reserve champion crossbearer from Tulsa in 2020. She's also a daughter out of the famous lot lizard sow. And we know that sow is one of the most prolific sows really in the country, and she's done all kinds of things. This sow would have produced a bear last year for Braxy Sharp. That was very, very successful. I think an interesting opportunity here in lot 78 and 79 from Wilbur.
Well, obviously you look at the pedigree of this thing or this pair, and there's a lot of quality that comes with that pedigree and a lot of winners stacked in behind these things. And then as you see this thing as a partnership sow with Dieterding, obviously there's just value and expense in that as well. You tie into that firm and the kind of females that they let go. Those things always come with a price tag, and for good reasons. Those are the kind that go on and they win shows and they produce for people. So if anyone out there looking for a show gilt that'll work for them, or maybe a sow prospect, this gilt is certainly one I would look into for those reasons. There's so much winning and genetic potential in that one, and the things sitting behind her have been so good. I'd certainly look into that one. Male here, obviously, no slouch either. Really nice pair. Obviously, all 4 of these that Wilbur brought you, I think, have got a lot of quality. He set them back for this sale for a reason. Young guy that's making moves, buying the right kind of sows to move forward and make a lot of genetic progress. So nice 4 that these guys bring you. I'd tell you to go look at them in the back. Lots of neat pieces there.
We're going to bring 3 out here from DL Genetics, lots 53, 54, and 55.
Brock, don't tell anybody about this gilt. Shh.
Yeah, no one will see her.
Shh. Tell them.
Lots 53 and 55 are litter mates. They're next to none, and their mother is a Goosebumps. So those are the male pigs out there, 53 and 55. Once again, their grandma raised a 5th out hamp at OYE last year. And then the gilt there that no one needs to look at apparently is lot 54. She's a tricked out Dirty South 3/4 sibs to the bunk gilt. That was the 3rd overall gilt at Tulsa from this year. It was a very impressive gilt that sold well. Once again, 53, 54, and 55 from DL.
I obviously am pretty fond of one of these in here, and I have not looked at these males yet. I'll try to make time to do that here as they're in the ring. Saw this gilt in the back, and she hit me as hard as any pig that's came through the ring today. That thing's look, bone, reach off each end is incredible in my opinion. That thing does so many things right. Looks like a champion kind of show gilt to me, and one you could take home and make a lot of champion show bears with someday. So that 54, she's one for me. I like a great deal. And then you get these mates or these males out here and study them. He brought you a set of hogs that are stout boned, they're big rib, they're mobile. This off belted one here's got a great big forearm working in him. I think a lot of hogs here that can go on and be successful for people. I will not be surprised if this gilt's the high seller tomorrow. That thing lights me up. Pay attention, Matt.
These are lots 53, 54, and 55. DL Genetics raised them. The 53 and 55, the male pigs are at a next to none, and their mother is a Goosebumps. The gilt that JD loves so much is a Tricked Out Dirty South, and I think we all love that one. Looks like we got Nate Warner Livestock coming in next. These are, I believe, the Tricked Outs on a Here I Am. Lots 45, 46, and 47. These are all dark crosses. 77 litters looks like. Once again, Tricked Out, Here I Am. 2 males and a gilt, if you can't see that, Matt. The mother just raised the reserve grand at the Southwest Regional and 8th overall cross at Tulsa this particular week. The mother also wins the gilts in Ohio last summer, and the grandma is a main motion sow. That is their foundation sow. That main motion sow, I've done this the commentary a few times, and obviously she's done a great job because he's always mentioning that sow as his pigs come through. JD and I judged a big jackpot in Ohio last year, and if there was a gilt that won the point circuit there, she was very, very good, and that's the mother of these gilts. She's the Here I Am. The top side of these is Tricked Out.
Yeah, obviously you can't mention the Holy Smoke pig sale or even have the conversation about this sale and the history behind it without mentioning the success that Nate Warner Livestock has had. There's been as many winners come through this guy's firm at this sale as anywhere you could find anywhere. Obviously, this guy brings his stuff here that's going to win the shows. He obviously will set the ones back that have the feature that they want, that you want in the show ring, have the shape that you want, and the kind of sows behind them that allow you to take them home and know that they're going to feed and have some consistency behind them. We judged that show this summer, and I remember using a gilt of his to win on my side that was one that hit me so hard. And this set of pigs out here reminds me of that gilt just in terms of their feature, their stoutness. Obviously, Nate Warner, like I say, has had a great run selling pigs at this sale. I would go check his out because without question, something out of his sale or his set from this sale is going to win something somewhere. I'd go check him out.
There was a time where Nate brought a lease gilt down and delivered her out here in the parking lot, and I tried my best to talk Trent out of her. I really, really wanted her. I was willing to go out of my weight class and wrestle a guy to get that one, and he would not let me have her. And that gilt was super impressive. He sold some really, really nice ones throughout his time here, but I think he is setting the bar even higher as he brings these in. It's an impressive group here, sired by Tricked Out. That boar's done a great job, and the bottom side here is Here I Am. That's a neat pedigree that should give you a lot of confidence, and visually really as good as anything that Nate has brought out, in my opinion.
Just a little tip for all you buyers. If you see Steve Sanders put his hand in the air on buying one of these, that's maybe the one you need down. The guy's had some good luck with these things.
The next pair coming in is lot 48 and 49, also from Nate Warner Livestock. Lot 48 is a male pig. He's a Space Alien, and then his mother is a Dirty South. So once again, lot 48, Space Alien, Dirty South. The mother is a Dirty South on the OYE Grand from 19. The mother is a sister to a sow in Pennsylvania that's won a bunch. It's a very nice pig in 48. Then 49 is a Tricked Out Kingpin. The mother is a sister of the Reserve D1 at Ohio from 21. She also won the heavy class at the American Royal last fall. So a very nice pig and out of a great sow line, out of a Kingpin sow in 49.
Looking in at this lot 48, and I have no idea what Space Alien is, but I don't think it matters what the boar is when you've got that kind of sow family stacked in behind them, and that may be the boar that I've been missing at my place that I should be using. But I look in here at this Barra, and that's one that proportions so good from the side. When you have that kind of length of body, I think it just opens the door to do so many neat things in terms of muscle and fill and bloom and shape. And that thing to me looks like a hog that's going to feed incredibly well. He's short-backed. He's long ahead of his blade. That's a big-chested kind of a show hog. I like lots of things about that lot 48 as he gets out here. Obviously, you get 49 out here, and that's a Tricked Out Kingpin. And I don't know if you could put a better pedigree on paper, just thinking about what those two boars could do to complement each other. And I would say whatever's behind that Kingpin sow on the grandma side is pretty impressive as well. Again, you get these things out here, and there's going to be a champion come from this set. I just go to the back and figure out which one you think you can make that champion and get them bought. Certainly, Nate Warner going to bring the good ones to Holy Smoke. Thanks again, Nate, for bringing these things. I think very, very good livestock.
JD, there's more to the story. There's 50 and 51 from Nate Warner Livestock coming
more
in
champions.
again. Yeah, more stallions coming in here. Tricked Out Kingpin is lot 50. Once again, for Matt and Reagan who can't keep up, lot 50 is a Tricked Out Kingpin. The same as lot 89-6. The mother there is the sister of the Reserve D1 in Ohio, the winter class, the American Royal. And then lot 51, Dark Cross male pig out of a boar that's really no one's heard of called Next Intention In-Game. I don't think that pedigree is relevant whatsoever. In-Game is a sister to a bear that won a lot last summer and did a very nice exciting gilt litter here. Lot 50 and 51 in the ring from Nate Warner.
I think this pair of males just emits so much quality, and that 50 hit me very hard when he came out the ring in terms of a hog that just puts it together from the side. I like that hog's length of hip. I think he's extended up front, got really good turn when you get on top of him. To be a hog that's a little greener in his muscle pattern, he still comes with a lot of spread in his chest floor, leaving you. He's got some width there at the ground. I think that's a hog that'll feed incredibly well. And then you look at this 51, and that thing's got a really unique kind of head and neck tied on him, a big back, a round rib. Really neat set of pigs that he brought you. Again, like we talked about, he brings the good ones here. I'd go check them out. Going to turn this thing over to Mav, so if you thought Brock and I were boring, Mav will certainly spice it up. Evan here obviously is ready to go, so thank you guys. Enjoy Holy Smoke.
We've got CNC in the ring here. Looks like we've got a solid white one. His lot number or ear notch there, 27, 36, 45, 48, 51 litter. Those would be Tricked Out, me against me's. The sow on that deal just raised a third overall Yorkshire there at Tulsa. We've got another white one on the pedigree list here to come in. It says Yorkshire, 51.6, Ev. That's just a double, isn't it? 32. Yep. So we've got 137. That's this belted hog over here close to me. That's a Tricked Out, me against me as well. And 138, that's the other belted male. That's a Quite Frankly Honor Society.
Yeah, CNC, very, very good friends of ours and good buddies for sure, and got to watch them sell some pigs at King's last week that were very well received, and a couple of those were mates to these, and man, they dropped this set out here, and I think it's really, really impressive just to be able to drop a set in like they did last week and bring another set like that this week. That 137 Mav, he's a True Colors. That's a boar at my house that they actually just had the grand at Exarban with a couple weeks ago. And I think that pig just strikes me whenever they unloaded these as just being one that, man, from a show bearer standpoint, I think can really get in somebody's chili someday. This Quite Frankly litter here, this belted male, has been a very, very good litter from the get-go. There's been several people that have been by their house, and I've heard about these pigs. I'm excited to see them as the fall continues. That pig just looks like a real, real good Hampshire at OYE to me. And every pig sale I've been to this year that CNC's been at, they've brought a solid white one, and he's been very well received. He's sold very, very well. That 136 over there is a mate to a real, real high seller there last week, and I think that pig resembles the one last week at King so much, and just his build and his look from the side and his sharpness. That's a really, really nice solid white one if you're in that market.
Good as Gold coming in next. These guys are really trying to put good stock together. Steven Sanders and family. This solid white one is a Last Dance Family Ties. This female is the first pick of the gilts from Lackey Livestock. Produced a solid white one last time that did real well. Grandmother produced a champion at San Antonio. This red male is a dealer son, or a deal with his son. And then he's a 76 on the bottom side. This is an early August male pig. Comes from a real good sow family. I'll let Evan talk to you about those. It looks like the Reserve Supreme Pure there at Tulsa is in this sow line as well.
Yeah, Mav. I think obviously on that solid white one, that's a pig they've set back and they've saved for this sale, and that's one that hits me as pretty versatile. I think you could get that one out and run him around every Saturday. I think that pig's got some shelf life in him to be able to set on him and show him there later on in life. But I think another one that you could just go ahead and feed as well, and I think that one's going to be very, very good. The red pigs at Good as Gold have been extremely good. I think that's their focus there. They've bought into some elite females. That one looks like another kind of red bear that would get along for you in March.
Yeah, and maybe I shouldn't say, but if these guys are COBA eligible, that white one would be a good option in terms of his size and that. It's a good pair of male pigs there. George Cooper's here, Coop and Flash. We got one climbing into the block there. 128, Ev? 128, 129?
130.
128. We've got another white appearing one. This is a white noise blurred. Grandma raised the champion Yorkshire at Houston. 130. That's another white noise blurred as well.
You know, George and Ashley, it always amazes me. It seems like every time there's a major show somewhere across the country, they've got one that's in the hunt. And he's a division winner or reserve champion Hamp or champion York, whatever it might be. And I think it's just because they build pigs that are good built and they're comfortable. They're not crazy anywhere. I think they're just ones that feed and get along. And continue to get better for people every day. And I think that's what we have here in the ring is a pair of light crosses or a Yorkshire appearing one and a light cross that look like to me would be the kind that you can take home and just continue to kind of that have ceiling and can just get better every single day. George and Ashley are doing a good job.
Again, another really good solid white male option. We sure haven't seen many of those this fall that have been available or able to buy money-wise, and certainly some good white options so far.
I've probably seen more solid white ones at this sale today than I have all fall, to be real honest with you, Mav.
I would agree with that. We've got Gary Todd, Show Pigs and Family, coming in next. These guys had a really good Tulsa show in there, third overall cross gilt, or champion light cross, excuse me. Oh, we got one more. Sorry. This is maybe one of the few Berkshire males in the offering. My apologies there, George. This is About Time Gorilla. Mother was champion several times in the summer circuit, and grandmother raised a champion gilt at Indiana State Fair this year.
We can tell which one's George's favorite, Mav. I think he likes this Berkshire a whole bunch, and I don't blame him. I think this is a good kind of a show pig. That's a big rear leg on a Berkshire male and still a neat look out front. Man, I think that's one that can get along as we go into the fall jackpot season.
Yeah, that thing doesn't really raise, but his jawline and look up front is actually pretty good. Hog's balanced and his look square and got some substance under him. My apologies, George. Nice Berkshire male. Matt needs a little longer to look at them sometimes. They got to hold their heads up for those guys from the south. This white one coming in here, this is a Gary Todd entry. Same with the calico and this belted one. 121. That's an Icon Honor Society. Mother's a sow from Willie K that they bought at PT. Her mother is a litter mate to Until Now that stood at Top Cut. Do we have 122 in here, Coy? That is the solid white one right there in front of us. That's a Next on Deck Gangster. Mother's a keeper gilt out of the Built the Brand purchased last summer. That's a Gangster Fortune Cookie Bachelor Party. And then is that Calico 123. That's the same way. Next on Deck Gangster as well.
I got to see some of these moving around in the back here, and this belted one probably hit me first, just to be real honest with you. That's a big-legged, good-looking kind of a show pig that I think for Gary's kind and the kind that Gary brings out, that one looks like he is absolutely going to feed for me, and I think that's Gary's MO. I think those are show pigs that aren't always the most in terms of their muscle. They're not always the most in terms of where they're at pounds-wise, but when he brings one to a sale, you can guarantee that they're good built and they're comfortable, and they're going to feed and they're going to get better every day of their lives. And so I would tell you to study up here, pay attention, because I think there's 3 in the ring that have got a chance in March.
Yeah, that belted one's pretty extreme in jaw and body shape and arm, and this belted one just looks real balanced to me. Good body shape and one that looks like to be good feeding. Same on the white one, skinnier probably, but I think the one that reads with some forearm and got some look in terms of his height to shoulder, and one that looks like he's going to continue to get better as you get that one home and put him on a program. I'm kind of liking the Holy Smoke Yorkshire offering for OYE. I think there's a good set of white pigs in here.
Yeah, I said it's as good as I've seen all fall, and I've been to a few pig sales so far this fall. I think there's as many solid white ones and as good of a set of solid white ones as we've seen.
Gary's bringing us 2 more spotted hogs. These are Remain Silent, Never Stops. Remain Silent is a litter mate to the reserve spot bear at OYE in 22. Never Stops mother has produced a champion gilt and bear at the Arkansas State Fair and the champion spot bear at Coba.
Gary's spotted program is kind of quietly just taking people by surprise, I think, across the country. If you go back and look at the winners that he's got in this breed, it's pretty impressive to me. And I've been down there and I've seen those pigs a time or two, and man, they just look like this. They're good built, they're comfortable, kind of like the last ones we talked about. They're no holes. I think they're ones that just continue to get better and they continue to feed. Man, this spotted male right here lights me up pretty good, to be honest with you, Maverick. I think that's a really, really nice spotted bear to show at OYE here in March.
Yeah, and that gilt's real different, too, in terms of her look and how she comes out of her blade and her shoulder, but still way wide open down low. Clubby little pair of spots. Looks like we got Crossbone coming in next. We can go ahead and bring those in. Hey, Dak, sweet teller. This guy's been trying to assemble some really good females, there's no doubt. We'll talk to you about some of these pigs. This is 39, Coy's grabbing there. That's a tricked out, long line, keep them guessing dirty. First parity sow raised by Carter Schulte. Same grandma as the Urban, whatever. Okay, same grandma as the Urban Legend 90,000 exchange boar. Multiple boars on here, really. That's what I was talking about. This guy, he gathers some good stuff. Dirty Secret, great grandma also has got a long line of winners behind her. That sow is one that's very, very good in our business, in my opinion, or that sow line that Schulte had there. What's our other lot number we got out here? 40, be the same way. 41's that's a Hero, Don't Tell Mom on a BMOC, which is Daisy, that Gorman deal. Result of a bred sow purchase from Get Her Done. Don't Tell's mom is a blue, dirty Skywire colt son raised by Hilty. Those Heroes obviously did well last time, guys, at OYE. Probably premier sire type, if you will, in regards to just a boar that had bunches of hogs that made the sale, and those hogs continue to look that way, like something you can feed consistently in terms of pieces and what that boar will do for you. And then obviously, guys, this tricked out deal is just hotter than a pistol, and the sow line behind these belted ones is probably as good as it gets, in my opinion.
Yeah, I certainly echo the comments about Cole and company, Mav. I feel like if I loaded this 39 up, I could show him to anybody in the country, maybe besides you, and get along. And so I think that's a really, really good kind of a show pig, and one that, man, just hits me in terms of his look and his bone and his comfort. I really, really appreciate that show pig. His brother's no slouch over there. And obviously that blue one in a light cross program I think could be very, very good. Really, really good group from Crossbone.
Yeah, and that 40 is good too. No discount to him. He's also very, very good. Real high-necked, big-chested, kind of different looking. And if I am judging your county fair or something, don't be afraid to buy that 39. Thanks, Ev. Appreciate that. Congratulations, Crossbone, on that set of male pigs. I believe we got winter livestock coming in next. Tanner and Sam set back a group here, and I think we got a pair coming and then another in a second. This Chester male pig is one that I've gotten calls about and texts about asking how good he is and to go look at him, and for good reason. I'll read you his pedigree. That's a fit for a king twister. I'll read you these guys' footnotes. They think they've really been focused on putting together a foundation Chester line, and they finally kind of got into that. They picked her up at the showcase in Kerrville and has made an impact by producing the 3rd overall Chester last year there at OYE in the Gilt Show. And that belted one, that high-headed one, what lot number is that, Ev? That's about that W. Go ahead and talk them, Ev.
Yeah, Mav, I think another group and another firm that's doing such a good job. You know, it seems like every time I get on showpig.com, they're turning out another set of 60 or 70 head, and they're all impressive, and they're to the max, and I really appreciate that. I know how much work goes into something like that, and so I think these are just an outcropping of that really, really elite kind of an animal, or of animals that come from a firm that I think cares about it. They're in the trenches every day. They're focused on it, and so I would tell you that a pair that you need to study up on, you need to pay attention to. That belted one, man, he strikes me real, real good, man.
Yeah, me too. And even if you're thinking OYE, that thing, I think you could still show him all winter long size-wise, and he's still short enough in his proportions. That thing's got plenty of hold in him if that comes to a point where you need to. That's a really good pair, and that belted one looks like he's ready to go to a pig show. Good pair, winter livestock. We got another one coming in, Berkshire, as well as a spotted hog here. The Berkshire is a top shelf tink tink. The spot's a DW Lampoon.
I think within the winter program, you know, obviously the crossbreds, the white crosses, those things have gotten along very, very good recently. But man, their minor breed hogs have looked very, very impressive to me just in pictures. I don't really follow or buy a lot of minor breed hogs, just to be real honest with you. But man, we've kind of watched and paid attention to just what goes on around the world, and it seems like they take focus on these things. They pay attention to these things. These look like really, really good feeding ones down the line, and ones that I think are going to work.
Yeah, and this Berkshire, if you want a Berk that's going to get to the big show as a market hog in terms of his weight, and have one that looks different in a Berkshire class in terms of being typey, hard in his muscle, and choke in his throat, and not look like a Berk, that one will do that for you. That thing will look different for sure. What? It's a compliment, man. Hey, it's hard to make them look like that.
Talking about you.
What? Steve Cobb and family coming in next, right? Ev, no, this is Steel Show Pigs coming in next. Steel Show Pigs, Mike Steele. Quite frankly, he's never before's. Way in on that pedigree. Obviously, lots of buzz around that boar. Mike has got a great set of females and a really good team around him as well. Very, very good breeder. Very, very good pair of boars.
I don't know if there's a pedigree right now, Maverick, that spells success better for me than, quite frankly, never before. Those pigs have been outliers. They've been standouts in sales across the Southwest so far this fall. they're just on a different level in terms of their stoutness and their feature, and they're still good built and they're comfortable. I think another set from Mike here that kind of do that. I know his sows are extremely good. I know he cares about those things. Anything that's got a never before on the bottom side, I'm instantly in. I don't care if it's out of a pig from the river. I think those never before sows can carry all kinds of boars, and quite frankly, certainly is one of the elite ones in the country right now. Really nice pair from Mike.
Steve Cobb and family coming in next. We're really excited to have these guys in our sale this time as well, and proud of their group for sure that they brought to us. We got 71, 72, and 73. 72 that Coy's on here, I believe, is a Kemosabe overruled. That is a gilt lot in the offering, and it kind of surprises me that those guys would let us have the opportunity to kind of buy in there. It kind of exemplifies what we're trying to do at this sale. 73 also is a Kemosabe. That'd be a Banner Dam. And lot 71 would be a Got Next Attitude, and Got Next is that next son that they have over there.
I think really interesting pedigrees on these three. I believe Got Next just sired the Grand at AYE here this week, and I heard nothing but complimentary reports about that pig. So hats off to those guys. Kemosabe's a boar that I know that they were very high on over there, that they lost here just a few weeks ago. And so I think from a pedigree standpoint, these are very interesting. I got the opportunity to sit down with Aaron at King's and spend about an hour with him on a bag of wood chips and just sit and talk to him. That guy is focused on making good show pigs that feed, good show pigs that are going to get better every single day of their lives, and I really appreciate that about him. I see that in these pigs here in the ring, and I think a trio from Cobb that a guy needs to pay attention to. There's no one in the industry that's probably made or bred more, winners across the country than these guys.
Yeah, excited to have those guys part of the sale. Holt Livestock coming in next. He's bringing a pair of belted hogs to us here. Got some interesting pedigree. 74 is a tricked out family ties. Mother raised a Grand at Revival in California. Premium sale bear at Coba. Second in class 3 Hampshire at OYE, all different barrows. Lot 75's Breaking Bad, Hold the Line, Never Before. Mother is a litter mate to the Grand Gilt at Woodward. Grandmother raised a reserve at Southwest Regional and 3rd overall at Tulsa in 21.
John Mark's another one of those guys that I think you can just see the passion that burns in his eyes to make quality show pigs, and it never fails. It seems like every year that we come here, he has a pig that I fall in love with and that I try to buy, and obviously it brings way too much for our spending account, and so we don't ever get him bought. But man, he always brings stuff that I think is intriguing. He's bought into some great sow lines. He's used some great boars. He does a really good job at the house, and I think is focused on making this show pig deal real good there at his place.
Breaking Bad sired the reserve there at San Antonio last year as well.
That's right, he did, Maverick. You love that show pig.
Holt is no stranger to the Berkshire game, or Berkshire Mark Bears, whatever you want to call it. In any case, this guy, he takes a lot of pride in winning that breed, and I can say that pretty confidently. These guys try to tear it up in them Berkshire Mark deals, and both these are sired by All In. All In's probably got as much influence now in that breed as any. Siring bunches of pigs. He's won a lot, got a great story in terms of what he has won. These are a solid monster sow, or visionary solid sow on the bottom.
Yeah, this pair just looks like ones that we're going to see these in March. I think you can go ahead and mark that down because I think this 69 just reads elite to me, and we follow these Berkshires a little bit more at my house now than I used to, and man, when you think of John Mark, you think of Berkshires, you think of All In, and you think of the quality that boar's brought to the table. But when I think of those bears and what they looked like at this size, man, this 69 just hits me that way. I think that's an incredible kind of a Berkshire bear. I think that's one that if you're looking for a limousine ride for your kid, I think you need to pay attention here because I think this one was born for the big lights, born for the big ring. Really, really special kind of a Berkshire male. Not taking anything away from his brother. Good pig, too. 69, special.
Ham Bone, is this you coming in next? These Halfins or hams? 139. Yeah, these are Halfins, okay. 139 is a back slap next, Kingpin Dirty. 6-1 is the female out of a first litter gilt from Heimer. The mates were very well received online, and this is one they saved back from the start. 140 is a True Colors, no intro. And then 141 is a mattress pad crossover momentum. Go ahead, Ev.
We'll talk these two crossbreds first. I actually got to see all the mates to this 139 at his house before his online sale. And, man, I thought that was probably one of the better litters of pigs I've still seen all fall, and I've seen a lot of show pigs thus far. That True Colors pig there on the far side has abnormally big rear legs. That I would say that's a good place to start with that boar. First crop there, just made the Granite Exarban the other day. 140 I think would be an interesting pig. And then you got the spotted pig there, 141. Man, that's a neat look and just a comfortable skeleton to me in a spotted show pig, and I think the kind that you'd want to feed going forward. Definitely a trio from a young man that's trying to do an awesome job. Nobody works harder at it than Jared Halfin. Appreciate this trio for sure.
Let's look at him for just a little longer, okay? Just a second longer. That 139 is pretty good too, Ev.
His mates were awesome at their house for their online sale. I mean, very, very good. I would have saw this pig when he was a teeny tiny baby. I just don't remember, but his mates were incredible.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Coy. Ham Bone is coming in next. This is a Last Dance solo. This pig has a ton of popularity. If you haven't heard or seen about him, this thing just so good looking and just so different in terms of his type. And we keep talking about these white ones, Ev, and this is a really good way to start getting towards the end of our lineup. I think we still got to go through Hofschulte next, but I'll let you talk about this one.
Yeah, I think we've made so many comments so far about the solid white ones that are in this sale, and we maybe just took it up another notch right here. I think this one just exemplifies balance. Man, I think he's so good looking. You study his toes at the surface, and they're short and they're flat. Just a neat kind of a pig here in 65. Dustin's obviously someone that's very passionate, very good friend of mine. I think does a tremendous job at the house and really, really cares about the kind of stock that he brings out to the public. I feel really fortunate to have one like 65 here for the buy-in public to purchase a solid white one here tomorrow.
Yeah, good job, Dustin. Really, really good pig.
Pretty sure, kind of like my house, Jen does most of the work at their place. Dustin just kind of shows up.
That pig is definitely show broke, ready to go to the pig
all
show.
Jen.
Not a bad attitude in that one at all. I bet you may even get a little service with that pig too if you own that one. That may not even cost anything either.
We might want to line that out first before you say that, Matt.
These are some of my favorite guys coming in here, just committed to trying to make good livestock. And regardless of breed, color, whatever, these guys try to put them together, the whole crew. This is Hofschulte's offering. The Yorkshire is a step ahead awestruck. Pedigree goes back to the champion Yorkshire at OYE in 17. That is a Yorkshire, and I've had some guys ask that today if there's any of those here. I hope you're watching this preview. She is here. We've also got on the dark cross side, 176. That's an Icon Uno. 178 is also the same way.
Yeah, I'll echo those comments, Mav. I mean, there's nobody that I think is hitting it harder than these guys. They're everywhere you want to be, and I think a trio that are very, very good. 177 there is that Yorkshire, and man, I think that's a neat kind of a Yorkshire gilt, and these guys have been very successful in the Yorkshire ring, and I think this is one that, man, her resale value, ROI dollars on that one, I think will be extremely, extremely good come March. 176 and the blue one there, the Icons. Man, I've seen so many good pigs out of that boar so far this fall, and I think these guys are doing a good job with that thing. I saw that boar sell there last year at Jesse's and thought he was a very, very nice pig. 178 just strikes me, Maverick, as one that was born for the big lights in OYE in March. I think that's a very, very good one in a light cross division. I can just see that one coming up the ramp and getting to turn right to a hard left there to the scales and going back and seeing where that one lines up. So neat kind of a pig, neat kind of a trio from the Hofschulte crew. Certainly my congrats to them.
Yeah, and Taylor just reminded me, Hofschulte just had the reserve dark there at Dallas as well. And we're going to walk these for just a little bit longer. Tomorrow we are going to have these things, we're going to sell them at 2 o'clock. We're going to sure try to start that thing at 2 o'clock. There is online bidding available, salering.live. If you have any questions, please reach out to us to do that. If you need help with registration, we would encourage you to register now, early. Go ahead and get that taken care of. We'll preview them right before the sale there, and we'll roll right into the sale. If you have any questions about the pigs tonight, please contact Trent Inman or any of us that have helped here on the mic or anything. And we're really excited about our offering. I think this is the deepest group we've ever offered at the Smoke, in my opinion, Ev. We'll see you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Holler if you have any questions.
Done.
I really like that pig at San Antonio. I really like that result.
Hey, just a few things here. The preview is now over, but just a few things here before we kick off our live music. Our Calcutta is open over there right now. For some of you guys who may not be familiar with what our Calcutta is, you are bidding on a breeder. And the breeder that has the highest placing barra on the premium sale list at OYE will get half the pot. The other half goes to the exhibitor of that barra. So at Tulsa the other day, we had a $3,500 pot. The exhibitor got $1,750, which is about $1,000 more than the premium sale. And I believe Nate Warner's going to earn $1,750. So get over there, get behind it, put some money in your pocket, and helps the kids out too. We'll have some live music here pretty quick. Thanks for coming tonight. We'll see you all tomorrow.